Now, let me try to take another practical case study, which is around D2C consumer products, right? So, you must have heard about the term D2C. It stands for direct to consumer. So, this covers all those brands who are selling directly to their customers, specifically through online channels, right? So we have taken an example, and of course, we have again sanitized some of the data, under the NDA agreement that we had with one of our clients. But essentially, this brand, this client of ours, was making skincare solutions which were priced slightly premium. He was targeting women, in the age group of 25 to 45 years of age, and he was specifically targeting the US CA markets, the Californian markets, with a AOV of $40. And one very interesting thing here is purchase frequency, right? Because skincare as a product, you will order multiple times in a year. So based on some of the data historically that they had on their products, they found that people were ordering their product at least 1.5 times a year, right? So some people might be ordering about 2 times a year, some people might be ordering 3 times a year, some people might be ordering just once a year. So the average was coming out to about 1.5 times a year. So how would you size the market, right? So we defined or as you can see behind my back, there is a 5-step market sizing process. So we are very, very clear that what is the category? The category is premium skincare. Who is the target segment? The target cohort that we are looking at are women aged between 25 to 45 in the US and CA markets. What is the category spend? If we have to calculate the TAM, we identified that there are about target, 50 million customers in the target cohort with an average spend of $100 per year on skincare, right? So when we multiplied 50 million with $100 per year, it gave us a total addressable market of $5 billion. Of course, the actual number was much higher, but this is a sanitized number, right? Now, in order to do to travel from TAM to SAM, we have to understand the product economics, right? So we looked at what is the kind of average order value, and we came to a figure of $40. And I already spoke about the purchase frequency. So every customer that we were targeting was looking at purchasing a skincare item at least 1.5 times a year. So that gave us an overall order value of $60 per customer per year. So now, when we have to calculate the SAM, we have to first of all look at that out of target cohort of 50 million customers, how many reside in the USCA market? And we figured out that out of 50 million, there are 10 million consumers who reside, and each of them will spend about $60 per customer per year. So your SAM, your serviceable available market, comes to about $600 million, which is about 12% of your overall TAM, right? And SOM, again, it's a very, very specific exercise to your specific venture. But in this case, we kind of arrived at a figure of $240 million over the next 5 years that our client could potentially achieve, which was about 40% of the serviceable addressable market. And since we also kind of did realistic cost estimations, it gave us a good amount of insight on the kind of brand awareness and the money that we will need to spend on acquiring customers, your, CAC, cost of, acquiring customers, customer acquisition cost. And we also kind of got a fair bit of idea on the lifetime value, right? And if your lifetime value is better than your CAC, and we'll be doing a specific session on CAC versus LTV as well in the future, then you are looking at a sustainable, profitable growth, right? So hope that this case study also helped you uncode, decode some of the concepts on how to calculate your TAM, SAM, and SOM better. Of course, for your specific business case, we can always connect offline, and we can discuss some of the best ways for you to size the market for your specific industry or product.